Geometry Dash 1.9 was released on November 9th, 2014. It introduced two new levels, being Blast Processing and the second demon, Theory of Everything 2. 1.9 also added the user account system, like literally accounts to be existing in the first place, which has obviously been a massive game changer since then. Another ability would be to select custom songs from Newgrounds. Listen, a nightmare for YouTubers, but for just the ability to make these levels sync up with these awesome new songs, we obviously know how influential that's been for Geometry Dash ever since then. When it comes to quality of life changes, graphic settings were included. No, like literally the whole idea of graphic settings, including smooth fix, which ended up being incredibly helpful for most players over on PC. When it comes to Rob changing the difficulty of his levels, I've made a video talking about how I already don't think it's too good, although back in the day it was horrendous because the skill ceiling was very low. Back on Track went from a normal rating down to an easy rating. Polygeist went from a hard rating to a normal. Dry Out went from harder all the way down to normal. Bass After Bass went from harder to hard. Can't Let Go infamously went from insane all the way down to hard. Jumper going from insane to harder, with Time Machine and Cycles doing the exact same. For the icons, 4 new colors were added, 4 new cubes, 2 ships, 2 balls, 2 UFOs were added, and a ton of the brand new game mode, which is my personal favorite and I believe the most popular, the Wave, which is the most influential mode in Geometry Dash and the most well known behind the cube in my opinion. This created the unbelievably popular 9 Circles series and just enhanced the gameplay completely when it came to Geometry Dash as a whole. When it came to decorations, listen, I'm not too familiar with the editor, although doing some research, 3D outlines were also added to help enhance levels for 1.9. We have to remember that this is obviously before 2.0 when everything felt like it had a living organism inside of it, so for there to be 3D objects in this update, that is huge. Blast Processing starts off with funky music, crazy colorful designs, and intriguing gameplay. At the time, yeah, people knew that the Wave was going to be added, but the way that it slowly introduces it is incredible. We're here, we're spamming with the Wave, we're having fun, we're probably dying because I can't remember 10 years ago, but you guys get the idea. No, like seriously though, I love Blast Processing. It's one of my favorite levels, including online levels, and I believe that it just is flawless when it comes to what it is trying to do. So what's it trying to do? Well, it's trying to be in your face. 1.9 was meant to be this big update, this big change to help propel Geometry Dash into this normal, impossible game kind of clone, although doing it better, to much more than that, and to add all these crazy colors, all these crazy designs, adding music that's not playing around, with brand new game mode showing that RobTop still cares. Oof, Blast Processing is something more than just a level, guys. And just Blast Processing throws so many game modes at you. Yeah, you don't have the robot, the swing, the spider, because it's obviously not out yet, but what Geometry Dash was at the time is being thrown at you. Oh, I wish Blast Processing, if Rob had all these ideas early, oh, I wish it could have been one of the earlier levels, man, because it would have benefited the new players so much. So luckily enough, players, they don't play the levels chronologically, and thank God that there's an option to be able to go and just skip to Blast Processing, because when it comes to learning and when it comes to understanding what makes Geometry Dash so great, Blast Processing thrives. So while I spoke about more what Blast Processing actually means, when it comes to Theory of Everything 2, this is more gameplay oriented. Theory of Everything 2 has a very dark background emphasized by the colors that you're using when it comes to the neon light ups. How interesting. So that means that in theory the level can change depending on you. Now when it comes to the actual gameplay itself, all the fakes are either obvious invisible blocks or they're X'd out just like you would find on a level like Hexagon Force. Now when it comes to this invisible block section, invisible blocks aren't necessarily new, although to have a whole section emphasizing invisible blocks where you don't know exactly what can kill you, yeah, this is definitely going to throw new players off. Well, I say new in the grand scheme of things, as this is one of RobTop's to this date last levels. I wouldn't necessarily say it's hard, it's actually more memorization, believe it or not. Not because you can't see the cubes, no, it's obvious. this, right? It's more just what can kill you and what can't, and developing a click pattern flow, which is quite a recurring theme here on Theory of Everything 2, click patterns. Discussing click patterns, this UFO is literally a click pattern, and then it transitions us into a very easy ball section where once again, all the fakes, anything that can kill you, is greatly X'd out. So thank you RobTop for that. This then puts us into another click pattern UFO where we go from the normal sized UFO into a mini UFO, really chucking everything at us when it comes to 1.9 so quickly in the level. Now this cube section here has a lot of things going on. All the spikes are so colorful. We were talking about the 3D outlines, well they're being used here. We were talking about the fakes earlier, they're being used here, and this whole section is a memorization section as well. Now this ship section is not playing around at first. You really need to know how to control the ship. If you hated those sections on Clubstep, you're going to hate this section, so it's time to lock in. Then after surviving that, it's just like what we were talking about before the ship. More 3D outline cubes, a bit of memorization, and ensuring that we quickly transition smoothly into the brand new game mode. I mean, just before we get to the gameplay, can we listen to the music just a little bit? Listen. Oh, that's good. No, this area of the level is incredible. Not only do we have very in-depth wave gameplay for its time, then we also get put into a memorization ball section. But no, it's not over. In the exact same speed, we go into another wave section, into another mini ship. Oh my goodness, this area, action-packed, awesomely designed, and it is a milestone for players when they're getting through RobTop's levels. This is definitely a test of your skill up until this point, and I love it. The level quiets down. All you can really hear is, shout out Eric Van Wilderman, the mystery piano. All the fakes are X'd out, and you're just wondering why the level's gotten so easy. It's placed us into the most notorious part of Theory of Everything 2, and one of the most well-known areas of any RobTop level. The 81% ship choke point seems very simplistic, although it is a choke point. Players from 75% onwards on any single level, they're gonna start freaking out if they've spent a lot of attempts. Then as we exit the choke point, we have only a couple jumps, obviously taking the coin path because it's the easier way. After that, we have an oddly easy mini UFO section. Yeah, it does look hard, but am I the only one that thought that this was very easy? Even back when I was a new player all those years ago. And we get put into a mini wave section that I vividly remember somehow dying on when I was younger. Yeah, no, I literally came to school saying to everyone that I got 95% because everyone at the time was playing this game. Oh my god, I don't know how I died here. Looking back on this, it's very easy, but am I just closed-minded? Guys, let me know, did you guys die there when you also first played the level? Now, 1.9 means so much to me because all these childhood memories that I had of Geometry Dash, all the levels are from 1.9. All these extra additions when it came to the creation of levels finally developed the community that we know today, basically. I mean, we got 9 circles with 50 million downloads and 2.8 million likes. And then we go into a level like Jawbreaker with 10.5 million downloads and just over 600,000 likes. No, these levels are absolute bangers. I remember completing them like 6 years ago for the very first time, and these are just the best milestone levels for anyone that's really trying to get good at the game. We have a bit of lesser known levels in the grand scheme of things, although what I seriously consider absolute bangers, absolute classics like Astronaut 13, which I recently made a video on. No, you don't have to go check it out. I'm just talking about it because it's 1.9. I love this level to death, and this has one of the best tunes in the game with the Astronaut Ruckus remix. Oh my god, it's amazing. 1.2 million downloads, 100,000 likes, millions of views over on YouTube. This level is just another banger. Once again, another level that I've made a video on, but no, you don't have to go check it out because today is just a passion project when it comes to Geometry Dash. Theory of Everything 2 version 2 by Neptune, 4 million downloads, 180,000 likes. One of my favorite videos on YouTube is Eric Van Wilderman playing the level because of how inspirational it was for me at the time, because I was just getting into Geometry Dash, knowing that one of my favorite content creators rather than professional professionals can still push through and complete a level like this, and all these levels are 1.9. Truly shows you the influence this update had on the community and how it developed all our favorite YouTubers basically into who they are today. Wow, this update was something. I would just like to give a very special shout out to the members, everyone. Thank you for everyone who has joined. Remember, you don't have to join, but a perk that you do get is getting a shout out at the end of every single episode. Remember guys, every single monetary decision, which means every single thing that you spend money on, it's your decision. I'm not trying to influence it. I'm just letting you know the option's always there.